Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ferrum College 40 West Show. I'm Cleve Adams, Director of Athletics, and this is where we bring you all the latest from Ferrum College Athletics. Each week, we'll talk with coaches, administrators, or student athletes about our journey into NCAA Division II, plus game updates, recruiting news, alumni relations, and everything happening across Panther Nation. Today, we have a treat. We will kick things off with our head football coach, Kevin Sherman. As we move into our first segment of the Ferrum College 40 West Show, we're going to focus on the journey into Division II. As Ferrum moves into NCAA Division II, there's a lot of energy and change in the air. I want to start there, Coach Sherman, and I really appreciate you joining me in the first show. We're going to work through this. We're going to figure out how this is going to work for us, but more importantly, we just want to share what's great and wonderful about Ferrum College and our athletic department. Where do things stand with you in our football program as you look at the transition from Division III to Division II?
Well, I think, thanks for having me on the first 40 West show here on campus. As the head coach moving into this transition, there was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of nervousness and anxiety, managing two different, rosters at one point in time. But I think this Team 71 has bought into the process. They're excited about the transition that we're embarking on. At first, going into, I try to tell these seniors that they're history makers because they're the first Division II program at Ferrum College, and we played our first Division II game against Catawba. We played our first Division I against VMI. We had our first Division II win against Shaw. And now, as we get into the second half of our season, or the back end of our season, our team is kind of found out where they are a little bit, and we're excited about where we are right now. It's a lot of firsts for us, as I stated, but they're finding out each week that they can compete at this level, but it's going to be a hard process, and there's a lot of lessons and blessings each week, and we're excited about the opportunities we have left, and we're just excited about this transition, and we look forward to what's to come in the future because I think everything's still in front of us.
Good deal. Good deal. You've touched on several of the questions that I have mapped out for us, but just kind of going back and just looking at the overall year of transition, what would you say the biggest challenge has been for our football program?
Well,
when you look back,
I think from the start, it's the competition's different. From Division III to Division II, because most teams have, of course, more scholarships than we have. As we transitioned into athletic aid, but I think these guys see what we have and who we have on our roster and on our team. They show we can compete at this level, but it's having enough of those numbers to compete week in and week out, and to sustain opportunities to get more wins. But like I said, I like where we are. We have to start somewhere. Don't want to do it too fast. You want to win every contest, but there's a lot of good and things to build on where we are as a program right now. But I would say the competition is one of our biggest, week in, week out, because we're getting everybody's best shot. From a different Division II standpoint, transitioning from Division III to Division II, but we're making strides each week, and the beauty of it is, it's good to see how guys respond each week in and week out.
No one wants to get beat by the transition team. So
no question.
Totally understand that.
No question.
Just want to build on that in this segment. Just one more question. What are you most proud of?
Well, I think that what I'm proud of, I'm proud of all of everybody involved in the process of this, this move, this transition from our top leadership, from our president, from our from yourself as being a director of athletics, our training staff who's done an awesome job, taking care of our football team. It goes all the way down to our people the janitors here in the building, because those people are so important to the process. And of course, I'm proud of our coaches. I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of our captains. I'm proud of our seniors, and I'm just proud of this team as a whole, because there's a lot that goes into this transition.
Absolutely.
And everybody that's involved to make our jobs much easier, and this process each day in, day out, it doesn't go unnoticed. And I'll let our team know that, even in the cafeteria. I mean, we got to know who packs our parachute every day, and we have to be thankful and grateful to make those things available to us, so we can be the best we can be week in, week out.
That's good stuff, man. And I can appreciate that. We said from day one, this Division II move is institutional. It's not just about the athletic department. It's institutional, and just hearing those comments from you, it just really builds on the vision that we had from day one when we started down this path. It was great stuff. So the excitement is real, and the movement is real. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening on the field. You mentioned earlier, we're on the back end. We're through the first portion of the season. We're coming down the stretch here in the 25 season. Give us the scoop about what's going on, and you talked about some of the wins. You talked about some of the challenges. The first game at Catawba. You talked about the 1AA Division I experience. That was really, really cool. Yeah. Playing on the ESPN. Just give us another breakdown on what the first half of the season looked like. We're going into a game this week with one of the top teams in the conference. Mm-hmm. Talk about what that looks like, and just bring our audience up to speed about the season.
I tell you, there's, like I said, I'm just proud of these guys, the way they've handled themselves week in and week out. I think the first half of our season, the thing I'm proud of, we've had 5 since up to now. We've had 5 guys. Well, 5 guys, players of the week in Conference Carolina. That's the first year program in Division II to have 2 guys have gotten it twice. Freshman Amarze Gray, a special teams player of the week.
Special player.
1 week, he's in the next couple weeks later, he's the offensive player of the week. And then you have Ryan Schmidt, who has done a great job in special teams, buying into his role of blocking kicks, and he's gotten it twice since then. And then we just had our first defensive player of the week this past week against Erskine. So those things are exciting, because that says we have the right people, the right players, and we're buying into the process of being the best version of ourselves week in and week out. But I want our alums to know that we're all bought into where we are and where we're headed and what we want this thing to look like. And I'm just excited about the next opportunity. And as we go into a weekend against North Greenville, who's sitting at the top of the league right now, and they're undefeated in the league, and they're the team to beat right now. And, it's their senior day, and we're on the road. It's going to be an early game, and I think our kids are up for the challenge of going on the road and seeing how we can finish this thing off the right way. And I challenge them each week. The goal is to go 1-0, and we got to take our show on the road the next 2 weeks. And let's just go turn it loose, have fun, and see if we can come out of this thing the way we want it to look. But it's not going to be easy. But that's the challenge ahead of us, and we look forward to this opportunity, because we only got 3 opportunities left, and I think each opportunity is to show who we are, our brand of football, where we want this program to be, and it's sustainable success, not just week in and week out. We want sustainable success each year, and there's a process in what we want this thing to look like, and we want to get back to what we've all talked about in this athletic department is somebody decided to win, and all we talk about is winning, and it's every day, and we want to compete for every blade of grass, and we're going to have that opportunity this Saturday.
Good deal. It's an exciting opportunity against North Greenville. Again, it gets back to, what we've done this season as a football program is exactly what made us very interesting to Conference Carolinas, because we do have football. We do have a football tradition, and being able to come in and compete and week in and week out. You mentioned to me the other day that the officials even noticed how competitive and how hard our kids play. That's a great testament to what you guys are doing, the coaching staff, you as the head coach and the coaching staff are doing and building this team week in and week out in the Division II space. Mm-hmm. Good deal. Sounds like we're locked in going into this weekend. Now, let's talk a little bit about off season. I want these sessions to touch on just about every area of everyone's program, so our listening audience can understand what happens within the program and not just game day. Mm-hmm. When we start looking at recruiting, okay, obviously you guys have been bringing recruits on campus during game day visits, and recruiting just never stops. It just never stops. And especially in this space, we have to understand the landscape, the footprint, all those type of things. How has the Division II transition changed your recruiting approach?
I think, this transition, this move for our program, our college, has attracted a lot of different young men that haven't been on our radar in a long time. It started back in the summer in our June camp phase, where we started identifying prospects. We had over close to 800 student athletes visit Ferrum College.
That's big time.
And then you transition to the season. We've had a few home games. And, we don't have a lot of home games, more like a lot of teams. But thus far, we've had 76 prospects that have been on. Sometimes their second and third time on campus.
Yes.
So that's big, because I tell our staff, and we want to get a recruit back on campus 3 to 4 times, and now you've created a relationship. That's and right. Once you create a relationship, okay, now you get into what you're looking for in the recruiting process is, we're looking for Division II talent that can play at this level. But I don't want to sacrifice the talent, because we're going to look at the character first, the academic second, and then can you help us win championships? Because that's the ultimate goal. And I think we have to identify the right fit for Ferrum College, the right fit for our program, but more importantly, guys that can come in and make a difference. Not I don't want, recruiting. I don't want to just get guys that can come in and join us. I want some guys that can come in here and make a difference and make an impact for 4 to 5 years. And go on and carry on a tradition that we've had around here, which is winning, and show these young men that this is a special place because of the people that changed the lives of my life, your life, and a lot of other different alums in the past. We want to bring, I want to pass that forward to the future of Ferrum College student athletes. But we've attracted a lot of different young men, not only from high school that we wouldn't have attracted in the past. Now with the transfer portal world, we're attracting, student athletes from that perspective. But I'm not going to, just jump into the transfer portal just to recruit. I always want to recruit kids that we have a relationship with, or I've had a relationship, or another coach has had a relationship that fits who we are, because we're not in a metropolitan area, which is a good thing in my opinion, but we're small, we're in a rural area, but we put an emphasis on the people, the person, the man, the young man, and why we're here and what the purpose is and what the goal is, and that's to get a degree and to win championships.
Good deal. Well, recruiting is the cornerstone. I always said that when I was out coaching, and you have to make sure that you get the right people in the right place. share with us a little bit from your perspective on how our alumni family can help us in recruiting moving forward.
I think one of the things that one of the emphases when I came back and grateful for this opportunity is to get back to our alums and show who we are, what we're all about, the excitement within the college, the program, the transition to D2. Not a lot of people were excited about it early on, but now they're kind of
warming up to it.
And now the alums, my goal, my aspirations, I think our staffs is get the alums back, get them on campus, see who we are, see our brand of football, and let them know that we want to carry on the things that they've done in the past and get back to that. But the alums are critical to who we are as a program. And I think if there's an alum out there, they're listening and seeing who we are. If you see a great prospect in your area, call, email, reach out to us, give us a name, let us do the background, let us do the work. But and I think outside of giving us names, I think one of the biggest things you can do as an alum is give back to your program. And no matter how small the donation, the give, everything matters in today's society. I mean, in the world, especially of college athletics and college football, everything matters. And I think an area of the things that I'm trying to put on this team and our coaching staff is that I'm big on the nutrition, hydration, sleep, all those things that go into being the best version of yourself on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. We're going to need the resources to play at a high level, whether that's we're going to have the resources to get these guys bigger, faster, stronger. We're going to have to get these guys the best gear. The things that I want to do in the future or improve we got great facilities. I want to improve on them, like a locker room update. I want to give back to these players and show them that their hard work is showing the alums that where we're going, and not only say compete with the Joneses, but what we have is good, but we can make it a little bit better. And I think if our alums see what we're doing and how we're doing it, and the things that are going on here, that if we can get them to buy in and give back and help this process along, I think they can help us further down the road.
Absolutely. And you kind of tapped into where I was going next. You read my mind. In terms of the recruiting is critical. It's a cornerstone. Support, community and alumni support plays a huge part in this. And as we continue to move and press forward into this NCAA Division II space, there are going to be needs. I mean, we want to be competitive. Part of this transition was to create a competitive advantage for Ferrum College in the Commonwealth of Virginia and neighboring states. And part of that move, when you step up in division, you step up in terms of what your needs are. And we're going to obviously need to tap into our alumni family and friends to help propel this program, not just the football program. Obviously, we're talking football right now, but the athletic umbrella itself, to propel it in a direction that we want it to go, to be the destination of choice here in the state of Virginia in this region. Any upcoming events? I know our next home game is November 15th against Concord. That's going to be a fun one. It's a regional battle just over the border in West Virginia. And I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I want you to talk a little bit about alumni opportunity coming up. This is going to be our first spring ball, true college spring ball and spring day, spring game. I want you to tap into that a little bit, just to plant a seed for what that looks like coming up in the 26th.
That's good. As we transition from the back end of our season, head into recruiting, you're always forward thinking of what's next. And, you have to, my mind kind of moves. I'm kind of week to week, but I'm thinking 3 months, 6 months down the road. We're excited about the opportunity to have our first two spring as a Division II program, and now we get to have a true spring game.
Absolutely.
And right now that's slated. Our spring game is slated to happen April 11th. So we're excited about that opportunity, and that's an opportunity to get our alums back on campus to see what Team 72 is going to look like. And and I think attracting kids from the state, the Commonwealth, is huge. The Carolinas, North Carolina, West Virginia, Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, that area, Tri-Cities, all those opportunities to get kids back on campus. I think this spring is going to be a big, first for us because it is our first true spring ball. And I'm excited about the opportunity to get the alums back on campus. Another opportunity to get that alums that weren't able to make it through the season, that we can get them back on campus sometime this spring, whether it's a spring day practice, a scrimmage, and definitely the spring game, to get them back to see what the future is going to look like here on Team 72. But we still got some work to finish up on Team 71, and
That's right.
We're excited about the opportunity. And I think, like I said, anytime we can get alums back on a day, a weekend, whatever it is, we'd love to have them back. They're more than welcome. We're just excited about this transition, this future, and where we're going, and the vision that the athletic department has. We're mirrored and aligned with the football program, and we understand that football's on the front porch, and we have to meet, uphold the standard, and keep this thing moving in the right direction.
Good deal. So as we move forward, obviously another exciting week for us going down to North Greenville. Is there any particular players to watch? Big win last week. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Just a shootout right there.
Yeah.
Maybe a little tough at times, but huge win for the Panthers and the Black Hats and our campus community. But any key people to watch this week?
I think each week it's exciting to see these guys play because it's somebody different every week. And like I said, it's good to see Zamari Copley step up and do the things he did on defense. I think he'll continue to get challenged each week now that he had a big week last week. So I'm looking forward to watching, see if he can be consistent and put back-to-back weeks. I'm always excited to see Ryan Schmidt play
the Swiss Army knife
in special teams, because we try to find and create ways to put him in position to do the things that he does. Offensively, I'm excited to see how we stand up, hold up against their stout defense, their veteran defense, and I'm interested to see how we run the ball, and want to see how our kids up front respond. And then our quarterback, Eli Fouts, who transferred in here from Emory and Henry. We're excited that he's here, and he's stepped up and done some good things. But I want to see how he responds to going on the road, playing against a high-quality opponent in North Greenville. And we know we're going to get their best shot. And, if we can go out there and create some big plays, and from our freshman receiver, Omar Gray, see how he responds to a different challenge week in and week out, and all our receivers, because I think we have some guys that can make a difference. But if we can just put it together and stay balanced as an offense and see how we respond and create some opportunities, and our defensively it's going to be a challenge because they do run the ball and they're a big play offense as well. I'm excited to see how our defensive front responds to the challenge in front of them this week. And Marquise Marner-James has been stepping up and being consistent player on defense for us. And of course, we're going to be challenged on the back end. We just have to offensively take care of the ball. Defense, don't give up the big play, stop the run, and special teams stay special, because we got one of the best punters in the league, and William Hutton, who averaged 42 yards a punt last week, and he has a big leg, and he's one of our best offensive players. People say, punter being offense, yes, because we can flip the field. So if we can do those things and play 60 minutes of football, I think it'll turn into Black Hats' way.
Good deal. Good deal. We're excited for that game coming up. It's a great opportunity to send a message across Conference Carolinas and across the region. Coach, I truly appreciate you being here for the first one. I know we're working through this, but I really appreciate the time. It's always great to talk and just understand what's going on and share what's good and great about Ferrum College. Well, folks, that's it for our first episode of the Ferrum College 40 West Show. Thanks for joining us as we celebrate the growth, pride, and passion of Ferrum College athletics. Make sure you follow us on social media and visit ferrumpanthers.com for schedules, stories, and updates. Until next time, I'm Cleve Adams, the Director of Athletics, supporting the mission of our alma mater. Enter with promise and leave with a purpose. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.